You would be at the very end, yeah. Yeah. Next to these guys. Okay, so there. Arms. Forward. March. Up. Beat it up. Up. Come on, guys. We gotta get that one. Right. Up. 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 Round step. Down through here.
Play marker. Connor, a bit to your right. You. Front. Stand easy. Stand easy. Right. Play. All NCOs called. Drummers. Ready. Drummers. Me.
Yeah. So, gather around.
You want to mark it out there? Have the mark.
6. 6. All right. 6. 6.
4. 6. Drink water if you got it. If you don't, why don't you?
Right hand marker. Stand fast. Remainder. Left.
I didn't know there was so much philosophy in the drum
March.
corps.
Oh, we have such philosophical discussions. You and me.
So you're like the manual.
We have them while we're writing each other. Literally. We should have
We still sing the philosopher's song whenever we can. Every time I think of that, I just...
I just
Press.
didn't see that.
To the left.
I really like this guy. He knows what he's doing.
Battalion. Hold it. On the left. Left a bit.
Drums, attention! Drums will play the troop.
You want to get the commands from the convention? I'll get Craig and He's falling himself in.
So instrument inspection takes place here?
I'll get Craig to do the front rank.
Left wheel. Into line. March.
Yes. We won't worry about cartridge boxes.
Battalion. Press to the right. Press.
Press! Stand at ease! Stand easy.
right, sir?
Absolutely.
March!
All right, Wrexham slow march. Stay care. Attention!
Open!
Drums!
Pass!
Ready. 1, 2, ready, speed. Stand at ease. Stand ease, gentlemen.
Order! Arms! Test! About! Withdraw! Ramrods!
Attention! Drums! Ready. Ready, speed. Stand at ease. Stand easy.
Battalion will move off to the right in an open column of companies. On your left, backward wheel. March!
Attention! Going on with the dead marches. Drummers start. Drummers start. Drummers! Ready!
Battalion! At the ordinary! March! Left, Dale. Left, change section to your left. Left, left.
Bravo, you guys sound good.
Out. Right.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, bienvenue, Sego. This weekend we've commemorated events from over 200 years ago at the 37th annual reenactment of the Siege of Fort Erie. But the lands we're on have seen human living history for almost 13,000 years. And those people are still with us, the descendants of the Attawandaron, the Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee. So we acknowledge that the lands we're on today were their homelands for millennia, and they're still here with us today. A big thank you to all of the reenactors. The heat yesterday was pretty oppressive, and you still went out and did an amazing job sharing history with the visiting public here. And I know many members of the public complimented you for the interactions they had with you in camp, that one-on-one storytelling that you guys are brilliant at. People came away impressed with your ability to tell excellent stories and your sense of humor. At this time, I'm going to call upon Kim Lundberg to represent the Indigenous warriors from the Siege of Fort Erie.
I'm going to give you a very brief version of the Thanksgiving ceremony. I'm sure you've heard from me before. I'll try and keep it really brief. It's very old. It was passed from Deganawida, the peacemaker. Some say maybe 2,000 years ago. And it's been with the Haudenosaunee since that time. There are no actually prescribed words in this address, but there are prescribed subjects one must talk about, and everybody's quite able to say it in their own words. And so what I have to say here is not the gospel, sort of, but it is the way of the Haudenosaunee. So I'm giving a Thanksgiving address. Now the Thanksgiving address could last for days and days during ceremonial in February, but this is the very abridged version. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is people. We're all thankful to Mother Earth, what she has given us. And we're thankful that most of us are friends, and we hope that that gets better through time. People are very fickle. The Creator is not fickle. Everything that happens for purpose. So we turn to Mother Earth first off. She gives us everything. The land, the things that grow on the land, the mountains, the water, rain, everything. So we thank Mother Earth first. The second thing for life is we must thank the waters. Without water, nothing would live at all. I guess we're all well aware of that this weekend. So thanks for waterfalls, mists, streams, oceans, lakes, everything. And we send greetings and thanks to the spirit of the water. The fish that live in the water actually were given instructions to keep the water clean. So that's an interesting notion, actually. We're grateful for them as they also give us food. We thank the fishes of the waters. And then the plants, who also depend upon the water. Wow. Just the biomass of plants is just astonishing. They sustain all life forms. We give thanks to them. for helping us. There are the food plants, most specifically for the Haudenosaunee, that would be corn, beans, and squash, which has sustained them for millennia. And they picked it up on their migration from what is now Peru about 20,000 years ago, as they traveled northwards to the fabled lush lands north of what's now Mexico. So the plants, the food plants, also help people survive. And that means today, that means all of us, because there's corn, beans, and squash everywhere. We also thank the medicine plants, those that help heal us when we are ill or hurt. We thank them also. And we also thank the keepers of those medicines. There's a legend that the bear showed most of the people what medicines to use for what ailment, because by observation they saw they were eating this for whatever problem. The rest of the animals, we send greetings and thanks to all the animal life in the world. They have many things to teach us if we only watch them. Whether they're near our homes or in the deep forest, we are glad that they're still here, just barely for some. And we hope that it will always be those animals. We give thanks to those animals. When we talk about trees, there are all kinds of trees. Every tree has something specific that it was given by the Creator to us. They have their own instructions and uses. I think birch trees, their bark is quite obvious. Elm trees, the same thing, maple for its syrup, etc. And there are all kinds of other trees that give us things. And the pine tree is, for the Iroquois anyway, is a symbol of strength and peace. So we give thanks to the trees for their help in our lives. The birds, beautiful creatures with beautiful songs and lots of strength. The eagle is the king of the birds. They also provide us with food. We give thanks to birds for being what they are. We also thank the four winds, which announce the seasons. The north wind, winter, the east wind, spring, the south wind is summer, and the west wind is the fall. So we give thanks to the winds for bringing those things. Those changes help refresh our earth from season to season. The thunder beings. The grandfathers, the thunder beings, live in the mountains, and they bring lightning, thunder voices, and they also bring the water with them in the form of rain. We bring our minds together to send greetings and thanks to those grandfathers, the thunderers. The sun. We give thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day without fail travels around the world, that's the perception, to give us the time of the day and night. The heat of the sun is the source of all fire. From the trees to charcoal fire, which are brought up by the sun. We send greetings and thanks to brother sun. Grandmother Moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of the women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean and the tides. By her changing face we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on our earth. For all those things we give thanks to our grandmother Moon. The stars. We give thanks to the stars in the heavens. They guide our way at night when it is dark. It guides us across the seas when we are sailing. It also helps the moon to light the darkness and brings dew to the gardens and growing things. We give thanks to the stars for those things. Boy, when the firmament's really visible, but it hasn't been for that for a while, it's quite astonishing to see, particularly if you live outside the city. To enlighten teachers. Teachers has come to help throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. Much of that is in oral history of many, many, many peoples around the world. So we give thanks to the teachers for reminding us of who we are and how we should behave. We also give thanks to Sangodizo, the Creator, or the Great Spirit of humanity. And we send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything needed to live a good life is here, right here on earth. We give thanks to the Creator, particularly, for all things that we see and feel and hear and do. So that's the short form of the Thanksgiving. And it says there's an appendix at the end of this that says, we have now arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it was not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send out greetings and thanks in their own way. Nyalagola. Nyalagola. Good morning, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, Kim. Yahweh. We probably wouldn't have said this in 1812, but we're thrilled to have our American friends here. And to address us on behalf of the forces of the United States, we'll invite Mr. Martin Land to come forward from one of our sister sites from Fort Meigs, Ohio.
Thank you, and good morning. I just have a couple quick comments. First off, for all of you dressed in funny clothes out here, underdressed for the weather I see, okay, you have an obligation to the site, or to the history. The thing to know is that we stand on a battlefield which is marked with a monument. Does everybody know where the monument is? Anybody know where the monument is? Has anybody ever looked at that monument? Yes, good. You're going to find that on monuments like that on battlefields all across North America and probably everywhere else in the world. Frequently on those monuments are inscribed names. These are the names of people who died in the area or buried nearby. So this is a form of remembrance. And on a human scale of time, those monuments are permanent, often in stone or metal. For the people you see before you, well, let me restart because I'm making this up as I go along. Can you tell? There's many other people who died in the various conflicts, and many of them, if not most, their names are never remembered. To find their names, you would need to dig through some forgotten archive, maybe find a musty muster roll, or a family Bible, or some other document that recalls their name. But for the most part, they are they are unknown. And often they are also buried in graves that are unmarked. So for the reenactors here, that's who you represent. You bring those people to life in a way that a monument never can. Because you're representing the common soldiers, musicians, First Nations that lived and died on these grounds 200 plus years ago. And I thank you for that. So, into the speech. We do this. Why do we do this? We do this for the remembrance of those who are unnamed and whose graves are unmarked. Thank you very much.
Well said, sir. Now I'm going to call upon the representative for the Crown Forces and one of the originators of this event 37 years ago, Sir Craig Williams.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you, Mark. Great words. This is one of our most important duties when we come out to reenact, is to commemorate those people who, as Martin has pointed out, may be the nameless. The people who came from all over the place, from little country villages in England to towns down in Kentucky to Six Nations camps further, or villages further away from here. And all of them who do get buried nameless end up being equal in death and together forever in peace. All those people that came here to do that did so that they could leave us a gift, the gift of nation. There is a United States and there is a Canada because of what these people did. Very quickly, I'd like to read two pieces of poetry because everybody knows I'm the poetry guy. This is a stanza from a poem about the Battle of Waterloo. And it seems to describe the action of the night of the siege when the British tried to take the fort and came a cropper. So deemst thou so, mortal deems, of that which is from that which seems but other harvest here than that which the peasant scythe demands, was gathered by sterner hands, with bayonet, blade, and spear. No vulgar crop was theirs to reap, no stinted harvest thin and cheap. Heroes before each fatal sweep fell thick as ripened grain. And ere the darkening of the day, piled high as autumn's shocks, there lay ghastly harvest of the fray, the corpses of the slain. And as is my bent, and I think this is, I'm told by most people, their favorite piece, to remember those who were brothers who fell. Not a drum was heard, not a funeral note, as his corpse to the rampart we hurried. Not a soldier discharged his farewell shot, or the grave where our hero was buried. We buried him darkly at the dead of night, the sods with our bayonets turning, but the struggling moonbeat's misty light, and the lantern dimly burning. No useless coffin enclosed his breath, not in sheet nor in shroud we wound him, but we lay him like a warrior taking his rest, with his martial cloak around him. Few and short were the prayers we said, and we spoke not a word of sorrow, but we steadfastly gazed on the face that was dead, and we bitterly thought of the morrow. We thought, as we hollowed his narrow bed and smoothed down his lonely pillow, that foe and stranger would tread o'er his head, while we, far away on the billow. Lightly they'll talk of the spirit that's gone, and o'er his cold ashes upbraid him, but little he'll reck if they let him sleep on in a grave where a Briton has laid him. But half of our heavy task was done when the clock struck the hour for retiring, and we heard the distant and random gun that the foe was sullenly firing. Slowly and sadly we laid him down from the field of his fame, fresh and gory. We carved not a line, we raised not a stone, but we left him alone in his glory.
Thank you all for being here.
This is now the commemorative portion of the event. We'll give the unit commanders a moment, place the troops in position for this portion. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask you, if you can, to stand and doff your caps. We're going to call upon Drum Major Ross Flowers and the drums 1812 to play. This will be followed by a moment of silence for the fallen, and that silence will be broken by a single round fired by the 6-pounder of the 2nd U.S. Artillery from Fort Meigs, Ohio.
Attention! Shoulder, arms. Present, arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our commemorative service for this morning. There's more activities going on in camp. At 1 o'clock, the reenactors will reenact the sortie, one of the last big fights here at Fort Erie in 1814. And for those who are here, a round of applause for our reenactor volunteers who make this event happen. And now we'll let them go and cool off and get ready for this afternoon. Thank you. Merci. Yahweh.
Gotta get as much footage ready to that much. Should we call them back again? Yeah, yeah.
March!
I don't see what I'm
Yeah, I did on the way up. Yeah, I go around.
I did. You guys are part of it now. You're part of the history of the event. I'm just not wearing that's in the second York I think you look great. Thanks. My glasses are well. All I pretty much do is hem this dress. It's not too long.
Ah, okay.
Yes, I do. You have my ammo. Give me the gun. Give me the high explosive. Damn it, you're right. Point it up. I'm wearing it, but I'm not. The lemonade stand. The lemonade stand back up.
I don't know which way they're gonna turn. Yeah.
March with me. You'll be in line with every last person here. Stop.
Giant on your left wheel! On the Royal Scots Grenadier Company. Dress! Front! Order! Arms! The short version. Have water, drink, hydrate. See you back out there for the afternoon battle. Look to your file partner.